Esteemed members of the press, thank you so much. I would like to ask you to please get seated. His Excellency, Mr. President, esteemed guests, esteemed members of the international organizations, esteemed members of the press, with the participation of His Excellency, Mr. President, organized by our Ministry of Labor and Social Security, welcome to the OECD Skills Summit 26. I would like to welcome you all. In our summit, the policymakers, government agencies, and international stakeholders will talk about training, education, employment, and their alignment. And we have the enthusiasm of witnessing these interactions. Now we have a short video to introduce the summit to you.
Welcome to Istanbul, where continents meet and time flows through generations. A city where the past is not left behind, but carried forward. In hands, in minds, in skills. Here, knowledge is not static. It is shaped, shared, and transformed. From craft to technology, from experience to innovation. We live in a time of rapid change. Digital transformation, the green transition, and new forms of work. Skills are the bridge between people and progress, between generations and opportunity. Welcome to the OECD Skills Summit 2026. A global meeting point where ideas turn into action. Across generations, talent is not lost. It is carried forward, reshaped, and strengthened. It finds new forms, ready for what comes next. Because the future is not built alone. It is built together, through shared knowledge, through continuous learning, through people. Welcome to a future shaped by skills. Welcome to Istanbul.
Efendim, emeği geçen her
We would like to thank everyone who made this possible. His Excellency, Mr. President, I would like to now invite Minister of Labor and Social Security with a round of applause. The podium is yours, sir. His Excellency, Mr. President, esteemed Secretary General of OECD, esteemed ministers, esteemed MPs, esteemed members of the international organizations, dear guests, esteemed members of the press. Unlocking talent across generations being the main theme, we have the honor of hosting OECD Skills Summit 26, and I greet you all with love and respect. In this unique ancient city, Istanbul, I would like to welcome each and every one of you. You honored us. The Skills Summit started in 2016 in Norway, followed by Portugal, Spain, Colombia, and Belgium. We are now the host country. In skills policies, mutual learning and exchange of experiences is the center of our vision. The human capital that we raise is what shapes our future. And today, people from all ages can bring their visions to life. Opportunities are equally shared and nobody is left behind. That's the kind of future we gather here today to build. The aging demographics, digital transformation, and green transformation are entangled in this changing world, and the adult or elderly addiction numbers will reach historical levels, which will impact the government, finance, the societal solidarity, and it will be a global threshold. And this will, of course, bring new opportunities. But who will benefit from these opportunities and how will they benefit from it will depend on how prepared the societies will be for this. So with digital and green transformation, we need to have a holistic approach that also includes talents and skills transformation. We need to manage this tri-pillared structure simultaneously. His Excellency, Mr. President, esteemed guests, we have vast historical experience in this front. And born in 13th century in Anatolia, we have the tradition of the ahi structure, which has been the founding base for the Turkish commerce structure. And this allows us to have strong foundation to keep the adaptability vivid, delivering and delegating know-how from one generation to the next. Today, from the ahi paradigm to AI, we need to now think about the safety, justice, and equality in sharing the notions. In the leadership of our president, in the very able hands of our government, we raise this inheritance for our future in very strong and reliable hands. We have a holistic approach based on skills and talents, and we want to make best use of our window of opportunity, and we strive to increase women's and youth employment. In the last 5 years, the increase in women's employment made Turkey one of the top countries within OECD. And 2 years ago, we started the Labor Positive program. We had education, employment, and support structure, which helped more than 2 million women to be employed. And we had vocational education and training support, which aims for stability in employment. His Excellency, we had the production age of the youth. As we launched it, we aim to increase youth participation into employment. So the digitalization, the candidate pool, and AI matching infrastructure help us to strengthen this program. The vocational standards, talent-based, proactive, and technology-based employment ecosystem allowed us to employ around 3 million members of our youth. His Excellency, Mr. President, esteemed guests, now we know this for sure. The future belongs to not the richest ones in assets, but those who manage to give the best talents and skills to their people. In the next 2 days, the ground of collaboration will not only help us tackle the problems, but will also pave the way to build a more resilient, much more equal and balanced world. The beautiful Istanbul, the capital of civilizations, in this summit will facilitate to share the responsibility and take tangible steps. That is what I wish. Thank you for responding to our invitation and coming to Istanbul from many different cities and countries. I would like to thank each and every one of you. And for the welfare of countries, this summit means a lot. I would also like to thank Mr. Korman and his team, the Secretary General of OECD, for your continued support. I would like to thank you. And also, even though they have a very hectic program, I would like to thank to His Excellency, Mr. President, for taking the time to be with us and honor us with his presence. I would like to extend my deepest and most sincere gratitude. I hope this summit will yield fruitful results, and I greet you all with love and respect. Thank you very much. We're also thankful to our minister for his opening speech. His Excellency, Mr. President, and esteemed guests, I would like to now invite Secretary General of OECD, Mr. Matthias Korman, to the podium. The stage is yours, sir.
Your Excellency, President Erdogan, dear Minister Özkan, ministers, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends all. Also for me a very warm welcome to this, the 2026 OECD Skills Summit here in Istanbul. This is our flagship platform where ministers and senior officials come together every 2 years to share what is working, what is not working as well as it should, and what comes next in skills policy. Today we are joined by more than 300 delegates from 36 countries and 12 international organizations. Thank you to Türkiye. Thank you, President Erdogan, Minister Özkan, and all of your colleagues for hosting this edition of the OECD's Skills Summit and for your outstanding leadership in our preparations for this event. Effective skills policies are one of the most powerful tools in the economic policy toolkit that drive growth and productivity. They open doors to quality employment, and they ensure that where you start in life need not determine where you end up. Developing your skills is a foundation to help ensure you can reach your full potential, to make your best contribution and to fully participate and benefit from the opportunities on offer across the economy and across our communities. But to deliver on that promise, skills systems must adapt to technology, to demography, and to the changing shape of work. And we need new ways to better reach people who too often remain on the margins of opportunity. And that is precisely what this summit is designed to do. Our theme, Unlock Talent Across Generations, captures that ambition. Over the next 2 days, the OECD will share its latest data and analysis. We will hear from you on how education and training systems can create real opportunity at every stage of life. And our host, Türkiye, has much to offer to this conversation. Türkiye's national employment strategy for 2025-2028 is building stronger bridges between education and employment, investing in digital and green skills and improving skills matching across regions and sectors. Its flagship youth initiative, the Era of Youth Production, will deliver employment counseling to 750,000 students in vocational education over 5 years. That is a commitment on a serious scale. Türkiye's leadership extends beyond its borders. It spearheaded the G20's Antalya goal in 2015, committing member countries to reducing youth not in employment, education or training by 15% by 2025. And building on that momentum, last year's G20 in South Africa adopted the Nelson Mandela Bay Youth Goal, a further 5% reduction by 2030. The OECD is committed to bring our full analytical firepower to meeting this challenge. We offer comparative evidence on skill levels, educational achievement, and participation in vocational training. We provide practical tools, including the OECD Skills Strategy Framework for designing national skills systems. And every 2 years we publish our skills outlook, the evidence base that grounds conversations like this one. Our latest analysis tells a striking story about the pace of change. AI adoption in the private sector across OECD countries has more than doubled in just 2 years, from 8.7% of firms in 23 to 20.2% of firms in 2025, with that transformation further accelerating since. But skills gaps are slowing further adoption. Around 40% of employers in manufacturing and finance say a lack of skills is the principal barrier to expanding the use of AI. And the disparity in AI training is stark. Only 23% of adults with low literacy skills participate in relevant training, compared with 61% of adults with high literacy skills. Technology is, for now, amplifying the advantages of those already advantaged. We see similar patterns in broader education. More than half of adults with highly educated parents attain tertiary education, against fewer than a quarter of those whose parents worked in lower skilled jobs. And the gender gap in mathematics skills quadrupled between the ages of 10 and 39 among people born in 1984. These are not just equity concerns, they represent an enormous waste of human potential and a brake on our collective prosperity and living standards. Closing these gaps requires making learning more accessible, more flexible, and more personal. That means modular course offerings and micro-credentials that enable a genuinely lifelong approach to learning. It means affordable childcare, because the barriers to training are rarely only financial. Türkiye's Komşu model, which certifies home-based childcare providers as a genuine alternative to larger centers, is a practical and innovative example. But also, when we look at the demographic challenge of our time related to population aging and our aspiration that in order to tackle some of the participation and productivity and hence growth implications of that, to convince people as we live longer and live longer healthier to contribute and to work longer, we need to ensure that those older workers are also empowered with the skills they need to continue to contribute in a world and in a labor market that is being massively transformed through the artificial intelligence and technological transition. The disruptions underlying our economies are real, but so is the opportunity. Skills policies done well do not merely help us weather change, they help us lead change. To design them well, we need evidence and we need to learn from each other. In that spirit, I very much look forward to open, frank, and productive exchanges. My very best wishes to a positive and impactful Skills Summit, and every success in unlocking talent across generations. Thank you.
Efendim bizler de konuşmaları için OECD Genel Sekreteri Sayın Matthias Cormann'a uzun
We're also thankful to Mr. Matthias Cormann for his opening remarks. Esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite His Excellency, Mr. President, to deliver his speech. I would like him to honor us with his presence. The podium is yours, sir.
Sayın Genel Sekreter,
Esteemed Secretary General, distinguished ministers, distinguished representatives of international organizations, dear guests, let me greet you all with most heartfelt feelings with high and warm regards. I am delighted to welcome you to Istanbul, the crossroads of continents, on the occasion of this OECD 2026 Skills Summit. We are proud of hosting you in Istanbul, the gateway of our country to the world, and we are proud of hosting such an important summit, of course. On behalf of myself, my country and my people, I would like to express my gratitude to all the guests attending the summit, both from within the country and from abroad. I believe you will have the opportunity to see the beauty and historical and cultural riches of Istanbul whenever you have the chance during this important meeting. I would like to emphasize one point right at the start of my speech. As you have been following, our world is undergoing a dramatic transformation led by technology and by artificial intelligence. Scholars are, of course, conducting a multifaceted analysis of what this change has brought to humanity and what it has cost us. But what we can all see clearly is that it is not possible to stop this wave of change that sweeps away everything, and it is not possible to put a barrier to change. But it is up to us to interpret change correctly, accurately, to steer it in the right direction and to manage it effectively. And this is, in fact, one of the primary responsibilities for us decision makers. This summit is a reflection of the close cooperation between our Ministry of Labour and Social Security and the OECD. I believe it will provide a strong platform for global dialogue in the field of skills. We are living at a time when developing joint solutions to humanity's shared challenges is more critical than ever before. We are witnessing a paradigm shift, especially in the field of employment today. And in parallel with technological advancements, modes of production are changing, professions are transforming, some jobs are becoming totally obsolete, and on the other hand, new fields of employment are emerging. It is becoming clear that today the quality of a country's human capital will be the key factor determining that country's success. I find it quite fitting that the main theme of the summit has been determined as unlocking talent across generations. I wish the Skills Summit every success and hope that the discussions to be held during these sessions here will already yield beneficial outcomes. Dear guests, international research shows that the working age population is shrinking in most OECD countries. As our population ages, our labor markets face new pressures and new challenges. Digital and green transformation are fundamentally changing the nature of demand for skills. While demand for labor inevitably goes down in some sectors, there are difficulties in finding personnel to work in new areas of employment. All economies, including our country, are experiencing this at different levels. The widespread use of robotics and artificial intelligence in particular brings different concerns along with new opportunities at the same time. Now, what is especially striking is that the global robotics market is projected to grow from its current level of $100 billion up to a market that will be worth $25 trillion by 2050. In some countries, fully automated production facilities, known as dark factories, are rapidly becoming widespread. Now, how to manage this new situation remains a major question for us. A kind of situation with artificial intelligence giving instructions and robots executing them, leaving almost no human involvement in production processes. The Industry 4.0 process offers cheaper, faster, and error-free production, but it also causes serious challenges. Even looking at the reality of dark factories alone, this is more than enough to see that we are facing a wave of change in the labor market that is in fact similar to the Industrial Revolution. I believe that the three main topics to be addressed here at the Skills Summit will provide new perspectives for all of us, especially for our business communities. For sure, education is a priority matter in this process, as in all other fields. And we are all aware that knowledge is one of the greatest sources of power for a country, also for a company or for an individual. But knowledge that has lost its relevance or that is not put into practice, in fact, becomes a burden for its holder. As important as possessing knowledge is processing it, using it, transforming it, and adapting that knowledge to new situations. In other words, all stakeholders of education, its content, its tools, providers, and recipients must all keep pace with today's speed of change. At this point, I would like to draw your attention to a striking fact. According to OECD assessments, basic skills of students are declining in many countries. The teaching workforce is aging, and education systems need to be reshaped. We no longer live at a time when learning begins in classrooms and ends with a diploma. On the contrary, today, learning represents a dynamic process that spans the entirety of life. Another point that deserves attention is this. It is estimated that by 2030, 1/5 of the world's population will be aged 60 and over. And by 2050, this proportion will reach 1/4. So people will remain in working life longer each year compared to the past. This all translates into a serious issue when we add to this excessive individualization, erosion of the traditional family structure, and the growing acceptance of self-centered attitudes, just like in the saying, each man for himself. Fortunately, though, our country is in a quite good position in this regard when compared to many other countries in the world. The fact that our family ties remain strong and that our culture of solidarity and mutual support is still vibrant, this gives us a significant advantage. But in spite of this, while strengthening the family institution, i.e. the foundation of the society with different initiatives, we also strive not to leave anyone behind through one of the most comprehensive social security systems in the world. Dear friends, one of the fields we attach great importance to is adult education. It is crucial for all of us that adults update their skills, gain competencies in new fields, and that they adapt to change. Flexible learning models, career guidance mechanisms, and effective partnerships with employers will be decisive in labor markets. In other words, lifelong learning will determine not only individuals' careers, but it will also determine the competitiveness of countries. Unlocking hidden talents. Today, this is not only an economic necessity, but it is also a moral responsibility. Today, in many countries, groups such as women, migrants, and disadvantaged students are unfortunately unable to fully realize their potential. We cannot see the consequences of this situation only as an economic loss. No country that leaves a significant portion of its human capital idle can possibly embark on a truly strong development path. In countries that fail to provide their citizens with opportunities to realize their potential due to discrimination, due to inequality, or other reasons, it is not possible to speak of a just order. Türkiye has been implementing unique projects, especially for women, and we have reached results in this field that were unimaginable 20 or 25 years ago. We increased the rate of women's participation in labor force from 27.9% up to 34.7%. In the same period, the female employment rate in our country rose from 25.3% to 31.7%. We removed all barriers that deprived women of social and economic life, especially education. As a result, the share of women in public employment increased from 34.2% up to 43.38% in just the last 12 years. With a law adopted in our parliament just last week, we introduced another important facilitation for our women. With these new regulations, we have now extended the duration of maternity leave for all working mothers to 24 weeks. Likewise, we have mobilized all our resources for the education and employment of our youth. Since taking office, each year we have been allocating the lion's share of our national budget to education. We have once again made vocational education attractive after it was once sidelined during periods when democracy was suspended. In this process, we are preparing our youngsters for the professions of the future through different programs, and we are strengthening the links between our educational institutions and the business community. The Generation of Production Era Power Program, which we introduced to the public on the 6th of January, is one such initiative. Through this Power Program, we will provide new support to our youth and to employers in many fields, from internships and skills development to career guidance or wage support. Our goal is to introduce 3 million young people into employment over the next 3-year period. With this project, we'll adapt the centuries-old master-apprentice relationship to today's conditions. Distinguished guests, our government approaches the topics to be discussed with strong political will and a long-term perspective. In line with our human-centered development approach, we continue without slowing down our reforms in all fields, from education to employment, from labor policies to social protection. In an increasingly digitalized world, traditional working models are undergoing fundamental change. This process creates new job opportunities on the one hand, and also increases the risk of employment shifting to unregistered, i.e. informal sectors. But thanks to the measures we have achieved significant success in combating informal employment over the past 23-year period. We have reduced the rate of informal employment from over 52% in the early 2000s down to 24% by last year. Also, we achieved this success in a global context where informality is increasing and during a period in which we recorded the best unemployment or employment figures of the past 23 years. Let me once again state it clearly. At the heart of our century of TÜRKİYE vision lies a qualified human resource base, a strong family structure, a productive economy, and inclusive social development. But skills policies are not an area that public institutions can manage alone. This topic requires strong cooperation among the public sector, private sector, universities, trade unions, local governments, and civil society. So I hope that the discussions at this summit will not be limited to identifying problems only, but rather will also lead to the development of bold, practical, and people-centered solutions. I believe that the analytical capacity of the OECD and the dialogue platform it fosters among countries do provide a quite important opportunity in this regard. In the current environment, where global geopolitical and economic dynamics are transforming, we see that the OECD Istanbul Center plays an important role, and we are really particularly pleased with this. So, with these thoughts in mind, I wish that the OECD 2026 Skills Summit will bring beneficial outcomes for our countries and for all of humanity. I sincerely congratulate our Ministry of Labor and Social Security, the Minister and his team, and all OECD staff, represented by Secretary General Mr. Corman, for their efforts in organizing this summit. I thank you for your participation, and once again, I extend my highest regards to you all. Stay well.
Efendim bizler de hitaplar için Cumhurbaşkanımız Sayın Recep Tayyip Erdoğan'a teşekkürlerimizi ve saygılarımızı arz ediyoruz ve zat devletlerini yüksek müsaade edelim.
We're thankful to His Excellency Mr. President for his speech. We would kindly ask that he stays a bit longer on the stage to deliver the plaques of gratitude. I would like to now invite Minister of Labor and Social Security to deliver the plaque. And I would like to give you a bit of information. Sofi Usta Seyfettin Çelik is about the reflection of Ottoman grace, and it has the Mardin Mosque's imame and has the Ottoman fountains as well as roses. This is a special technique to be engraved, and this special design was constructed specifically for His Excellency Mr. President. Now I would like to invite Mr. Matthias Kurman once again to the stage with your applause. Now, I would like to invite all our participants who are either ministers or deputy ministers. Could we please ask you to join us at this stage, as well as our MPs and deputy general managers, governors, and the chairman of the party organization for districts. Yes, the family picture of OECD Skills Summit 26 Türkiye, Unlocking Talent Across Generations. That brings us to the end of our program. I would like to thank to His Excellency Mr. President for honoring us with his presence, and I would like to have a round of applause for his participation.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our program will continue with the keynote speeches of the summit. After a 10-minute break, I would kindly like to ask all of our participants to join us back here in the conference hall in 10 minutes' time to continue with the keynote speeches segment of our summit. Thank you. Değerli misafirlerimiz, programımız 10 dakika aradan sonra kaldığı yerden devam edecektir. Kıymetli misafirlerimizi 10 dakika sonra